taking consideration, and I know a lot of people might want to get as deep as I'm taking it, but it's Wednesday, and in honor of wisdom, I'm taking it there, and just for your comfort, there's at least a half a billion right-wing conservative Christians studying the shit out of Revelations tonight and understanding all the reasons why it's okay to fuck this planet off, and to think that I'm going to sit here and let it pass by and not jump out here and spit some honesty on it while these motherfuckers are out here lying to the public. Think again, because I'm here right now, man. Check it. There's an area in the book called the Apocrypha, and it means the secret part or the hidden part. And a lot of Protestants don't have that part of their Bible, and even the Catholics don't have the complete part of that in their Bible. But the most important of the apocryphal books is the Book of Maccabees, and here's why. The Maccabees fulfills the prophecies set forth in the Book of Daniel, which is the book that most of the prophecies in Revelation are based on. So a lot of the stuff that you're reading about in Revelations is stuff that is really, unfortunately, it's robbed from the Book of Daniel, and they're both, it's just another case of plagiarization. What could I say? The thing to know about the Maccabees is that the Maccabees fulfilled all those terrible end of the world type prophecies that Daniel was trying to give, because he wasn't trying to rat himself out to the effect that they would kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he's trying to say is that things are going to change, and it might not be right now, but they're gonna. And what he's talking about is he's talking about the Maccabean Revolution, and that's where these guys in Israel had put a statue of Zeus on the altar of, the Hebrew God, and everybody went for it, and they were doing a lot like the Muslims do today, and they were saying, if you want to be anything in our society, if you want to be anything in the Greek Empire, you have to become a friend of this king Antiochus. And everybody was going out there in front of Zeus and swearing their oaths to Antiochus, instead of to God, which is, if you know anything about the Jewish faith, you know that the one God thing is pretty serious. So, there's a guy named Mattathias, and he goes to town, and he gets invited to join in the sacrifice, and to give his allegiance to Antiochus and become a friend of him. And Antiochus, and here's, and the response of Mattathias is one of zeal, is the word that's used. And he says, hey, I'm not going to digress from following my God to the left or the right. I'm not going to change. God was good enough for my parents, and he's good enough for me. And so, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he says something to the effect of, kiss my ass, no effing way. So somebody else steps up, and they say, oh, it's cool, Mattathias, you're respected in the community. I'll offer a sacrifice for you. Mattathias flips out, and he kills the guy on the altar. And I might be skewed on my facts, but I doubt it. And the whole thing is, if you yourself are actually seeking truth, then you're going to go and check what I'm telling you anyways. You're not going to take my word for it, and you wouldn't be wise to, because there's so many people out here just running their motherfucking mouth. But all I'm doing is starting the thought process. Anyways, so through a bunch of heroic efforts, the family of Mattathias, and basically the family of Judas Maccabeus, which the Maccabees is named after, these guys, they get into a war with the Greek Empire, and they win, because they're experts at fighting on their own turf, just like any good guerrilla fighters. And a lot of people think that their piety and their allegiance to God and their faithfulness and their not and their lack of debauchery is what propelled them to being able to win all these victories, much like Joan of Arc. Um, but what happens is these right wing conservative Christians have taken the prophecies of Daniel and saying that that is something that's still hanging over our head in the form of the apocalypse, and that all of a sudden all this shit is going to come to an end. Incorrect. It's all going to be here, and it says that so many different ways throughout the Bible. You know what I mean? There's a thing that's taught in the Catholic Church, and you may not want to hear about it, but you need to be taught it if you're really looking for the truth. And that is that there will be a second judgment, and that is when everybody will be gathered up, and everybody will have knowledge of everyone's sins, even yours, even mine. Everybody's cards could be on the table that day. And if you think that God is neglectful enough to not put us in that circumstance before this is all over with, well, you're entitled to that thought. So, I want to say that the second most important part of the Bible as a Christian is the Maccabees, is it because it takes the wind out of the sail of all this apocalyptic, rapturous, don't give a fuck about the earth bullshit. And it's Wednesday night, and I'm going to take it as far as I can before I get tired and go to bed. So you guys can stay tuned for some more knowledge here shortly.